It's Retro News Friday, and Sony has a new Walkman that's coming out for its 40th anniversary, and it looks nothing like we remember. Also, there is a Elvis Presley Animated Series that is in the works, and KFC has a commercial for a RUDY II movie that looks pretty good. So stay tuned for all that retro news and more coming up. What up to my peoples, and welcome to Retro Crunch, your nostalgia channel where we talk about current news that relates to all things retro. And the first news that we're going to talk about today is Sony. The company that brought us the Sony Walkman way back in 1979 as the first truly portable personal cassette player. They have gone through a lot of changes over the years. And it was just announced that Sony is releasing a revolutionary new version of the portable music player, and it's supposed to take your music to a whole new level. When I first heard about this new Walkman, I was first thinking, wow, they're going to be making a state-of-the-art cassette player that is going to have some amazing sound and features. And as it turns out, the new Walkman is going to be huge on sound and features, but it is not going to have a cassette player. To me, this is like really good news for the audio lovers that want some extremely great portable and digital music quality, but it sells short the nostalgic music lovers that were hoping for something that was more like we remember from the 80s. And it's not like I'm not excited to see Sony's new Walkman. I think it's great that they're having a continuation from the Walkman 40 years later. But this being the 40th anniversary of the Walkman, I was hoping that they were going to have something that was going to be a little bit more in tune with the original from 1979. I mean, cassettes have made a huge comeback in the last 2 years, so this would have been a perfect time for them to reflect on the 80s vibe. I just think that they really missed on capitalizing on a trend that's really popular right now. So some of the features that are on this new Walkman are a vinyl processor, which can help digital tracks replicate the sounds of vinyl. It can stream music from its built-in Wi-Fi receiver along with Bluetooth, and it supports a SD card and has 16 gigs of onboard memory. And the device also has a screensaver that looks like an old school cassette player, except the color changes depending on the type of music file that's playing. Also, a accompanying soft case that comes with it looks a lot like an old Walkman, so when you throw up that screensaver and snap the case closed, it might give you back that 80s feel a little bit. But does it miss the point? I kind of think so. For a product that represents the 40th anniversary of the Sony Walkman, I think there are very few features that really are reminiscent of the 80s Walkman. And considering some of the phones nowadays provide some of the best digital music quality around, and the fact that you don't have to carry around multiple media products, the $400 or $500 price tag that this Walkman is going to cost is about $300 or $400 more than I'm willing to pay, really. And let me know what your thoughts are on this 40th anniversary Walkman and if you think it's worth buying. Heck, they might do a cassette player for the 50th anniversary. Probably not, but you never know. Hey, there's always that OK player that has Bluetooth that's coming out in November. And then moving on to some retro TV and movie news. In anticipation of the final movie of the Rambo series, Rambo Last Blood, Alamo Drafthouse is planning on having a Rambo Marathon in certain cities around the country. This 5-movie marathon is going to include every entry in the franchise, spanning nearly 40 decades of Rambo movies. This marathon is going to take place at various Alamo Drafthouse locations throughout the country, starting on September 19th and running through September 28th. And the marathon is going to kick off with the one that started it all, 1982's hugely popular First Blood. So if you're lucky enough to live in a city that's near an Alamo Drafthouse, this might be a fun way for you to spend a day and also catch the final movie in the series as well. And if you want to see a full list of the participating locations, head over to drafthouse.com and you can see the event and all of the locations that it's going to be showing at. Then next, we finally have some more news on the upcoming Mad About You revival. And if you're not familiar, Mad About You is a TV comedy series that had Paul Reiser and Helen Hunt, and they were a married couple in New York City. And it was a pretty funny comedy. And the show ran from 1992 to 1999, and it was really popular in the 90s. This Mad About You 12-part series is going to be on the air starting November 20th with the first 6 episodes, and then they're going to release the last 6 on December 18th. The new show is a Spectrum original, so if you want to watch it, you're going to need to go over to spectrumoriginals.com to find out more about it. And then Elvis Presley is getting his very own animated series over on Netflix, and it's going to be called Agent King. This show will have Elvis being a part of a secret government spy program which battles evil forces across the country, while he's also holding down a job as the most famous rock star on the planet. Basically, it's a male version of Jim and the Holograms. Agent King is going to be coming from Sony Pictures Animation, and Elvis Presley's wife, Priscilla Presley, will serve as co-creator and one of the executive producers on the show. There's no news yet on when the series is going to premiere, so stay tuned for more info on this as it comes out. Next up in our Retro Flash segment, we're going to touch on the news that we didn't quite get to, so here we go. Just in time for football season, y'all have to check out this new funny commercial of Sean Astin, who's going to reprise his iconic role of Rudy for KFC in sort of like a RUDY II movie commercial. And then the USA Network is working on a new miniseries called Evil, which is going to be about the popular 1970s stuntman Evel Knievel. And it's going to be executive produced and starred by Milo Ventimiglia. And then this news kind of sucks. I'm a little upset about this. There was going to be a revival Elvira TV series that was possibly going to be coming out next year, and both Netflix and Shudder backed out on the project. So back to the drawing board for all you Elvira fans. There is a rumor that's going around that Guns N' Roses might have a brand new song that's going to be in the new movie Terminator Dark Fate. I don't know if this is true or not, but there has been talks that Guns N' Roses is working on a new album, so this might be how it's going to be announced. And the popular 80s and 90s comedian Eddie Murphy said that in 2020, he is planning on going back on the road to do stand-up comedy. He hasn't done a comedy special since 1987 where he did Raw. So this is going to be real interesting to see. I know that he's been trying to work out a deal with Netflix, and I think it was like a $70 million deal. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see what happens with it. Then if you love 90s rap like I do, Wu-Tang Clan has a TV miniseries that just came out on September 4th over on Hulu that I think you guys might be interested in checking out. It's a portrayal of a fictionalized account of how the formation of Wu-Tang Clan happened. Then if you're into retro news and nostalgia stuff from back in the day, then I will catch you in the next video right over there. I'll catch you on the flip side, and remember, if it ain't retro, it ain't worth watching.